Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I am way out of sorts today. I got a late start, and that messed my whole day up. I always try to get a video out by 9 a.m. at the latest, and when I don't, it just screws up my whole day. Okay, so I'm going to be interviewing Jim Bazzani from Caleb & Brown tomorrow, so if you have any questions that you want me to ask Jim in the interview, and I'll put the interview, or at least parts of it, out on the X platform. But if you have anything specific you want me to ask, shoot me a DM, or you can email me. It's a long email. It's digitalassetinvestor2018@gmail.com, and I will ask him whatever you want me to ask him. If you haven't opened an account like I did, they are my partner. You can go to xrpwealth589.com if you want to get free institutional grade custody. If you want to have an actual broker you can pick up the phone and talk to when the market is booming and all the exchanges are locking up, Caleb & Brown does not. And you can actually talk to somebody, or you can email them, or you can send them a direct message through their app, and you'll have the liquidity to actually make a sale. All right. We're having a little bit of a pullback, which is kind of something I would expect the day before the first XRP ETF launch. Now, this is a clip from the Black Swan Capitalist. These guys put out some great content, and this is another one.
More to the point, you're going to have a bifurcation. In other words, if you and I do a contract of a significant size, we may specify payment in gold. That means that contract is going to retain value, whereas the fiat currency that people use to buy their groceries and everything else is going to continue to deteriorate in value. And you see this all over the developing world, in Latin America and Asia, where the common man is using the fiat money that's government supported, and private people are using commodities as a means of exchange. And that is, I think, unfortunate, but it's inevitable. Look at the United Kingdom. The UK and the pound sterling, which of course was named after silver, is basically on its knees. France the same way, Italy, all of these nations are facing major problems because they cannot generate enough GDP, enough economic activity to support their people with employment, with other services and everything else. So I think inevitably you're going to see a division between those who have gold either in physical form or they have it in their investment portfolio, and those who don't. And for the U.S., that's more than half of the population.
Yep, and they say money has three roles: medium of exchange, unit of account, store of value. The dollar is no longer a true store of value. Gold is reclaiming the store of value. XRP is the new medium of exchange, and stablecoins act as the unit of account. This is where we're heading. 1,000%. Now look at this from Paul Barron. XRP ETF launch is supposed to happen tomorrow, starting with Canary. Here's the fees. Canary is at 0.5%. Then Franklin Templeton Bitwise is at 0.34%, 21 shares. Then Grayscale's at 0.35%. Let's see who else. Bitwise, well, he already did. So that's the cheapest fee, is Bitwise at 0.34. I'm sure there will be others. The XRP ETF era starts tomorrow. So it's, and then Rex Shares wanted to give a little reminder. The first spot XRP ETF is already live. XRPR, the Rex Osprey XRP ETF. I can't remember. Is this the one out of Canada? I think it is. Maybe that's why they're not calling it the first one. Remember when Brad Garlinghouse said this? I do.
You look at what's happening around the ETFs. Because, again, the headwinds and tailwinds, because we've had these headwinds, some aspects around XRP have been behind other L1s. That's now catching up. You're seeing inflows into existing ETFs. You're seeing more ETFs go live. You're seeing more talk about this new category we call the digital asset treasury, the kind of micro strategy spin-offs, if you will, not literally, but kind of similar things. I think it's just going to continue to create a lot of tailwinds where XRP has been held back. I'm optimistic that through the balance of the year and beyond, when you're artificially held back, I used the analogy one time publicly, like if you hold a balloon underwater long enough, of course it pops up when you let go of it. And so we saw that happen, I think, over the next 6 months. But now we're seeing a lot of the organic, and in some case inorganic through Ripple's acquisitions, things pushing the industry, the community forward, the XRP ecosystem forward, that I think should really have a positive impact.
And it begins tomorrow, folks. Okay, then in conjunction with that, this government shutdown, I believe it's tonight that they're going to vote, and they should vote for the government shutdown to be over.
Republicans have a razor-thin majority in the House, as Dana and Bill mentioned. If all their members make it back, Republicans would only be able to afford to lose 2 of those votes with no Democratic support to get this package to the president's desk. President Trump, of course, expected to sign it. I spoke with the House whip earlier this morning, and Bill, he said he believes they will have the votes and that this shutdown will be over.
All right, we are watching by a thread there. Thank you, Mark.
So that should be tonight, is my understanding. And look at this from Chad Steingraber. House votes later today. We could have the Clarity Act passed into law by Thanksgiving. Industry wants more clarity on the Senate ag market structure draft. Stakeholders say bill needs more work before offering support. House returns after 54 days to vote on reopening the government. So we're right there, folks. Right there. Okay, let's look at this. Paul Barron had tweeted this out. The illusion of innovation. JPM Coin's fundamental limitations. JPM's entry into blockchain-based payments deserves recognition, but calling JPM Coin innovative misses a critical point. It's essentially a digital wrapper around the same centralized banking infrastructure that has frustrated businesses for decades. Despite using blockchain technology, JPM Coin remains what it has always been, a closed permission system controlled by a single bank institution. So I retweeted that and I said Brad Garlinghouse laid this out a while back.
Banks issuing their own stables. Underrated, overrated. And then there's a follow-up question. So
I'll go first on this one.
Yeah.
I think that also is overrated. In some ways, we've had banks playing with this idea for a while. JPM Coin has been out in the world as a concept for like 6 years, I think. Mm-hmm. The challenge is if JPM does this, is Citibank going to accept JPM Coin? Is B of A going to accept? Is DBS? Is MUFG? And so you almost need a neutral player and neutral players. And look, I think Tether is going to continue to be successful. I think USDC is going to continue to be successful. I also think there's an incredibly exciting opportunity around RLUSD. The momentum is very positive. One of the things that people don't know, I've said it a little bit publicly, but there was a period of time where Ripple was minting 20% of all USDC.
Yeah.
And so people ask, well, why did you guys jump in? And you're like, well, we're already minting. We were, if not the number one minter of USDC, we were number 1 or 2. Mm-hmm. And it's like, well, wait a minute. Why don't we actually lean into this market, particularly around our customer segment, around institutional use cases? And I think many people now are increasingly understanding some of our strategy around Hidden Road and how Hidden Road can really drive significant adoption in expanding the stablecoin market. We're not trying to beat USDC or Tether. I think those will continue to thrive.
Okay. And here, this is Jeremy Allaire from Circle. He was on CNBC this morning.
Across the board, what we are seeing is the technology has been advancing rapidly. We're making some major moves in the technology space. That happened also in the quarter, which we can talk about. And companies all over the world are diving in. And while there's some focus on, hey, there's going to be people who are going to try and build stable coins or other things, we are, I think, moving at pace to do 2 things. We're building a full stack internet platform business, from the operating infrastructure at the network level to the stablecoin digital asset layer to the application layer. So we're really transforming the business to serve the needs of these mainstream companies, and hundreds of them are getting involved with this as we speak, and we talk about some of that in our earnings release as well.
By the way, the Circle IPO, what is this? Verify that you're human. Okay, so while I was in the middle of recording this video, something happened to my X account just now. I was sitting there about to go to the next tab, and all of a sudden, zap. And when we go into the group, I'll give you a little more detail, but I don't know what's going on. I'm going to have to look into it. If you want to join the group, it's daixrp.com to join the Patreon. If you'd rather join through YouTube, click join below any of these buttons, or you can hit subscribe on X. We do the full video plus the extended video with no commercials. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. I don't know what's going on with my X account, but I'll tell you more in the group.